So here's another question we are given to solve. That is, evaluate the, that is, we have the inverse of cosec x dx. We are to differentiate this function with respect to x. Please stay connected. So I believe at the end of this lesson, you are going to understand how to evaluate this type of question whenever you are given. So whenever you are given similar question, you know how to go about it in the nearest future. Now we have this, so that is, we have the s of the arc cosec of x. That means we have to differentiate this. It implies that we can use, that is, the one we are used to. So we can say that let y equals to cosec, that is arc cosec of x. So that implies that we want to find the y dx. So because we are using y for this function, that is y equals to this, then we are to find the y. That means we have to differentiate this function with respect to x. So that is the meaning. Now, how do we differentiate? This is the inverse of trig, that is inverse of cosec x. Now, this can be written as cosec y equals to x. So that is cosec y equals to x. So now we can write it as x equals to cosec y. That means in this question, we are going to differentiate, though we have to differentiate x with respect to y. But here we are going to differentiate x with respect to y with respect to x now. So this x will be treated as a dependent function. This x depends on, because we are different, we have to find the y, the x, the y now. So this x depends on this function. Because it's this function that determines x. So therefore, we want to, don't forget that from trig identity, cosec y is equals to 1 over sine, that is inverse of sine y. Cosec y equals to 1 over sine y, where sec y, or sec of an angle, equals 1 over cos of that angle. While cotangent is the inverse of tangent. So those are the trig ratio that we have. Now we have x equals to cosec y, which is 1 over sine y, which implies x equals to, so sine y raised to power of minus 1, using the knowledge of indices, minus 1. So now let's differentiate this. We are using chain rule. So we are using chain rule to differentiate this. So that is, we can say that using chain rule, let u equals to sine y. So we differentiate u with respect to y, that is the u dy. The u dy equals to, then we have cos y. So because we are different, don't forget u with respect to y now. We are used to x, then we can do uy to use y and we will get the same thing because of the nature of the question we are giving. No, therefore x becomes, in place of sine y, we are using u for sine y now. That will be u raised to power minus 1. We want to find the s du. The s du equals to this power you use to multiply minus 1, then multiply by u raised to power minus 1. We take away 1 from the power, so to have this. So therefore, the s du will be minus, then u 1 times any number equals to that number. Minus 1 minus 1, that will be minus, we can be written as minus 1 over, using indices, u raised to power 2. So now, multiplying the result together, we want to, don't forget we have to find the y, we want to find the y dx. But this question, we are going to find the s dy. So we are going to find the s dy. And the s dy will give us, so the s dy, we have the x dy equals to, multiply together, we have the s du multiplied by the u dy. So that the u du will cancel out. We have the s du, we have minus 1 over u squared times, so the u dy equals to cos y. So now when we simplify further, we have the x over the y to be, so the s dy will be minus 1 over u squared times cos y. Don't forget, u equals to sine y. We are going to substitute back. We have minus 1 over sine y, that is sine y raised to power 2 sine y squared times cos y, which implies we have the x over the y equals to, now in this case now, we have this to be minus, we have cos y divided by sine square y, which can be written as, so don't forget we are to find the y dx. When we are going to interchange this, so we turn this one upside down by determining the reciprocal of this. When you determine the reciprocal of the y dx, you are going to have, or the x dy, you are going to have the y dx. So that is the inverse of the x dy will give us the y dx. So which will make this one to be inverted. We are going to invert it to obtain minus sine square y divided by cos y, and we substitute by, we have the x over, okay, the y dx now. So we have obtained the y dx to be equals to, now the y dx equals to, what is sine x? So now, or sine y rather, because we are going to express our answer in terms of x, don't forget we are giving x here. We have minus sine square y divided by cos y. Now, what is x? X equals to 1 over sine y. So that is, we have x to be 1 over sine y. If that is the case, so 1 over x, the inverse of this will now be equal to the inverse of the, which will be sine y. So the inverse of this will be inverse of this, which will turn to sine y over 1, which will give us sine y. So therefore, sine y equals to 1 over x. Now, what is cos y? Using trig identity. That is, we have cos y. Cos y will be 1 minus sine square y square root. So from sine, that is from sine square y plus cos square y is an identity equals to 1. When you make cos y solve your formula, you are going to obtain this. Now, when we substitute, we have 1 minus sine y equals to 1 over x. We have 1 over x raised to power 2. Raised to power 2 here. Then we evaluate the square root, which will lead to 1 minus 1 over x square. 1 square is 1, x square will be x square, then square root. So when you multiply, that means the LCM here, you are going to obtain x squared minus 1 divided by x squared. And when you evaluate the square root, so using knowledge of self, we have x squared minus 1, then divided by square root of x squared will be x. So therefore, we have the y over the x to be, now here we have cos y to be this. In place of cos y, we are using this value. In place of sine y, we are using, so sine y equals to, so we have sine y to be 1 over x. This is what we are using. In place of sine y, then we use this for sine y, this value. And for cos y, we are using this value, this expression here. So we have sine square y minus, then sine square y will now be, so we have 1 over x. 1 over x, everything raised to power 2, divided by cos y root x square minus 1 divided by x. When you simplify further, so we are going to obtain 1, that is minus 1 square is 1, x square is x square, divided by square root of x square minus 1 divided by x. So when you apply the knowledge of so the knowledge to simplify this, that is when you have division and when division change to multiplication, you are going to invert, then we have minus 1 over x square divided by this, divided by square root of x square minus 1 divided by x. So equals to minus x square, then times, so this one is going up, then this is coming down. We are going to invert, this one will be x divided by square root of x square minus 1, which equals, when you simplify further, this x can go here, this goes here, we have, that means we have minus 1. In the numerator there, we have minus, then we have this remain x, that x goes here, x times square root of x square minus 1, which can be simplified by factorizing it, or we can leave our answer in this form. So therefore, the y, the x, by rationalizing the denominator here, the y dx equals to minus 1 over x square root of x square minus 1. This is the answer to this question that we are asked to simplify. So in conclusion now, we can conclude that d over the x equals of cosec x, that is cosec, the inverse of cosec x equals to minus 1 over x square root of x square minus 1. And this is the answer to the question we are given. So thank you. Please like, comment, and share. If you have any question, you can drop in the comment section. Thank you.